It's time for us to evolve, to accept the next stages of evolution and of acceptance of differences, even when we don't understand. Even though we don't want to accept it, it's still by far the right of every sovereign being to live in their truth in respect to the next person. To be and to live an optimal life catered specifically to their specific needs and wants and desires. Because let's face it, bringing someone else into this world, in a sense, is a crime. Because you didn't obtain a permission from their being to be brought into existence. So the least we all can do as sovereign beings, respecting other sovereign beings that are also forced into existence, is to respect their difference and desires. So yeah, we are what it takes to make the laws lax and to respect their differences. Reducing the age of consent to 15 across the board. Acknowledging or respecting adult workers, sex workers, and being acceptable of recreational narcotics, or especially like weed across the board, legalizing it across the board. This will help others cope with being forced into existence, with living, and will acknowledge others and honoring others' sovereign rights and rights. That's including men rights, women rights, children rights. While also reinstating pro-choice. So pro-choice, that these rules will help comfort people's stages of evolution and growth and coax them while they develop in the world that they did not want to be a part of it in the first place. Or if they did, or if they didn't, we wouldn't know, because we can't, like I said, no one hasn't created or invent a device that can ask a spirit permission that they want to be is created or exists in this realm in the flesh, or being born or being brought into existence. Although you have Ouija boards or whatever have you, spiritual devices, but for some reason, no one has a thought to just, hey, can we consult with these spirits and ask them? Nobody who has unprotected sex thought to ask or have a seance and ask a spirit, hey, do you want to be born into existence, before we just recklessly birth someone or birth another being into existence? Nope. So this is the next stage, is to acknowledge that union, even as it's an odd union, to respect or understand. It's a young union between young people and adults. Can be honored to a degree, to give those individuals that ultimate living or optimal living that they yearning for. Because that's the least we can do as a whole, as a society, as a collective. If people aren't going to acknowledge their sovereign right and realize they should not be forcing others into existence, then the least people can do is acknowledge and continue moving towards an evolution where it's inclusive and understanding of people's differences. And keep climbing and advancing. Now, we continue with this, resisting other people's desires or whatever, respecting the differences. Shit. At this point, I feel like you need to find a way to stop or ban procreation then. Since people want to have quote unquote morals and values, I think that's the most noble, valuable, and righteous thing to do is to not birth anyone into existence, because you can't ask them for consent, or no one has to figure out how to ask beings who aren't existing if they want to exist. So if you really want to be on the righteous path, that's the most righteous thing to do, because birthing someone into existence isn't righteous. So it's up to the collective as far as moving towards a more lax and understanding world, or an actual righteous world, an actual good world. And that is to honor the fact that we shouldn't be bringing people into existence because it's forcing someone into it. But we can understand the act of SA, exploitation, manipulation, and abuse. We should be able to understand that that birthing another is a form of abuse in itself. So if we want to stand and continue to stand for what is right and what is good, and go against all these other forms of expression, like, prostitution and dealing of drugs, and trafficking, racketeering, pedo, even adultofiles, and all that. We want to put a halt on that, or stop those types of being. We also need to stop birthing altogether, because that's just an abusive, if not worse than all the others. Not birthing anyone will really solve everything. That's the most righteous thing anyone can do, since we want to be woke and want to be these righteous, good beings. Be righteous and good and not birth another being into existence. Make laws that go against birthing. Reinstate abortion. Pro-choice. And ban procreation. Or, like I said, become Let the laws continue to move towards being more lax, and honoring differences.